Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. Well, we've got a little Acolyte back for you today. And yeah, we are a little late as usual. We've been having some tech issues. Like my camera and my mic didn't even want to access and stuff. It was a whole funky thing. And we're without guests currently because I'm pretty sure our guests are having issues. I haven't heard back from a couple folks, but Chambers was about to come on and hang out with us, and he's having some trouble getting on. It's a tech funky kind of day. But
seems like it.
Without further ado, we have our in-house tech man back here, and he could usually announce troubles. And if he's struggling and troubling, it's a bad day for tech. But we're going to jump on into the Acolyte because there's a lot to talk about. This was, I'm going to go ahead and say, the best episode by far, obviously. If you watched the watch party yesterday, we've covered a decent amount of these topics, but we're going to dive in a little bit further and get some good stuff going. So let's do this thing. A little tech funky Wednesday. I mean, for real. It's a little screwy on everybody's end, which is interesting. But hopefully, as this stream goes on, we'll get a few other of our friends to hop in. Justin and Melvin and Aaron should pop up. And maybe if we can figure out Chambers' camera and mic and all that, he'll hop in. But we'll figure that out, you know? We'll see. One way or another, we got some stuff to talk about. Chaz, best episode?
Yeah, still don't mean too much, though. I mean, it's exactly what I said. The first 5 minutes were great. Like, it was a much better episode throughout. I will give it that. But they kept taking away from the fight scenes. They kept doing weird camera pans, blocking things, headbutting lightsabers to disable them. Like, I guess we figured out that it's understandable in canonically, but they didn't explain it at all.
That's a good thing to, yeah. Well, no, that's honestly a good thing. Just a lot happened in this episode. That's for damn sure.
I'll tell you what,
David,
that reaction that I had to what's his name just getting
Yord. Okay, we'll definitely talk about Yord in a little bit. So what he's talking about, the headbutting the lightsabers, and the lightsabers just kind of, or he had the little gauntlet on too, I guess. The gauntlet or the headbutt, and the lightsabers would, I guess, de-ignite or kind of.
Yeah, it's like they shorted or something.
Yeah, that's a better word. They shorted out kind of. Essentially, I believe the metal is called Christophsis or something like that. It is a metal that's been around since like OG Star Wars, like what quote unquote legends are considered nowadays, since the novelizations and stuff. So there is precedence for it. So it's easy to be trigger happy on them right now, and they deservedly need to be trigger happy on in a lot of ways. But this at least had precedence. They could have, obviously said something better. The Jedi could have been like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he has this medal," or something like that. Just a little throwaway line that gives you a context.
Some sort of context to explain it, because they did not at all. And you just see this dude just headbutting everything, and you're like, the hell? Like, and then eventually the mask still comes off just from getting smacked enough, like it just comes apart. It's like, dang, that wasn't built very well, huh? Like,
no. Well, I mean, hinges and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if that metal. I guess if it's going to short out a lightsaber, it's totally going to be lightsaber resistant, like Beskar would be, or Durasteel would be, or something like that. But so on and so forth. Shelly, we love you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I just saw y'all celebrate your anniversary on Facebook the other day. Happy anniversary. What was P7 saying over here? Like all Star Wars, looks neat, has the vibe, but acting and story, meh, no thanks.
Yeah, the stories that
I think Rotten Tomatoes 100%
character
correct.
Motivations. They keep
that's going to be the big thing we're talking about.
Adding shit that just doesn't make sense. Oh, it's so annoying.
Like even in this episode, obviously the story is not great to where we've gotten to from here, and this episode was by far the best. Sure, tripping over the actual bar that they set to reach over their standards, great, but it had better story elements to it. Sure, it did. They still just get thrown away so quickly. I guess the character motivations make absolutely no sense, and I guess, consistency of what the characters are doing also don't make any sense. I don't know. We're gonna dive into this. Hopefully, we'll get some more people to talk about it. But there's nothing short to discuss on this one. Let's go ahead and let's rate this thing. We yesterday we gave it a rating. It'll say the same after you sat on it for a day.
I'm trying to. What did I say yesterday?
You gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. I'll give it a 3.5. I'll give it a half an extra point just thinking about it because, and it's simply only because just some of those deaths were a little brutal and I liked it. I was like, dang, okay, like just pop, 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 snap neck, kebabs people. It's like, shit, okay. So maybe a little extra half point for that. But then again, when you start thinking about the story and then the logistics of the everything, you want to take those points away.
Yeah, I'm still sticking. I had that 3.5 yesterday. I'm sticking right there with you. It's for the same reasons. It's staying there because it's story keeps it from being a 4 or a 4.5, a 5, anything like that. Story keeps it from being a 4, and I would say dialogue and actual character motivations, specifically, I guess, for specific characters as well, keeps it from being a 5 because those are some major characters that you need some stuff to do that just are not doing the things that
may switch sides 4 times during
the last 2 episodes. Yeah,
like it's just a lot.
It is a lot. That and the brutality is great. I like the brutality actually a lot. It's not some gore porn or anything like that, like we were talking about. But it lets you. It doesn't. It's still a little PG-13, especially with those beheadings after the little kebabbing. But it allows you to follow through with what you're watching instead of no.
Right.
I guess just being alluded to can be a great thing in some cases, not in all cases. Anyway, Sarah gave it a 4. What are y'all thinking? We got 1 rating. What are y'all thinking? Stanleys, howdy. These Stanleys, we got the whole group. I like it. Brooke and C-Dub, everybody's here. So Soul has to die now because he knows about the Sith. Totally. Yeah.
Well, they all have to. Well, but that's so confusing.
Is this just going to be a mini-series? Because Osha, May, Soul, they all 3 have to die. Kymir's probably going to die in the process of it, so even the Sith is going to die. The Sith, I will figure that out. Who else knows? Kiadi Mundi knows that there is a dark force, and then... But what? Oh, it just makes so much less sense when you actually think about it, because the Jedi have to send people to investigate this. There's no way that half a dozen plus members of their council, or not council per se, but they're just falling brothers everywhere. And I don't know. Brooke's saying 5. Hell yeah. 3.5 from David. Mark saying best episode yet.
Definitely the best episode. Like,
definitely best.
I'll give it that 100%. Like, it's the bar has been slightly getting raised for that a little by little each episode, maybe like a quarter point, But this one was definitely better. But what killed me is just during the lightsaber battles, like they would just cut to Osha walking up on them, and it's like, we don't give a shit about your POV. We don't want your POV over there, okay? Ugh. I don't know. That bothered me. That bothered me way too much because there was cool things happening, and you could see that cool things were happening, but we couldn't see that cool things were happening. Like,
yeah. Sarah, this might actually bother me more if they do it like this. Just because, it does. I think that's probably how they're going to have to play it by the end of the series. She's saying Jedi covered up for political reasons.
That might not be. That's probably right.
It's kind of the only way they could do it. I just don't think it's satisfactory because it makes Yoda that much worse of a person, which means he would have known about Palpatine. He wouldn't have been riding along and prolonging everything. Like, watch the end of the Clone Wars, like those last couple episodes. If you remember those, Yoda's saying, they're sending Anakin to go, spy on the Chancellor a little bit, which is what we see in Revenge of the Sith. And it's just that's so. It wouldn't have been that prolonged if he would have known there were Sith. Simple as that. If there were Sith that were prevalent 100 years ago, Yoda's not like, oh, they're gone. Oh,
Yeah,
all
for
these
real.
bad things are going on, and someone's definitely playing both sides. We know certain things are going on. Yoda's a couple. He's almost a few centuries. He's a few over a few centuries old at this point. He's nearing few centuries. Yeah, 9 centuries old. So good lord. I don't get how they make some of these things make sense to them. And I guess Ki-Adi-Mundi being alive, Plo Koon being alive, that means Plo Koon is not the honorable Jedi that we knew him to be. If he knows about this stuff and knows all these Jedi died 100 years ago, that means, I mean, a lot of the Jedi we know from the prequel era are older. Like even an Utapau that we get a little more familiar with in, I guess Rebels and Kenobi, I guess particularly, the Grand Inquisitor. He would have been alive during this time. He's just a Jedi Sentinel with a yellow lightsaber, but he's old enough. He would have been alive during this time. Tera Sinube is alive during this time. Plo's alive. I think Yaddle would have been alive during this time. I don't know if she would have been on the Jedi Council because she was significantly younger. There's just so many Jedi that are still alive during the prequels that you cannot make this make sense, currently at least, with the prequels. The Clone Wars does not happen without the Jedi knowing, or at least thinking that, hey, what about those guys from 1/5 of our lifespan ago? Like the Jedi are old. There's another Keen Ha, I think, is a Jedi, and she's a Kaminoan Jedi. Kaminoans live up to like 1,000 years. There's so many ones that are, they get into glob shittos, whatever they're called, where you just pick a name and there's another character. But the point stands that there's just an innumerable number of reasons that this would not make sense, even though it's totally what they're going to end up doing. They're totally going to end up doing it, but
yeah,
it's just big old nothing burger. Stanley's are saying 6, maybe 7. I'm assuming that's out of 10. C-Dub is saying least bad episode. I can't say best episode so far.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay. I agree with that.
But
statement.
Caveat here, is this at least a decent episode of Star Wars, no matter the series? I think it's there. Obviously, the story could be better, and then it would be a good episode maybe in any series.
Then when you watch Osha fighting May, and then you're like,
Don't remind
that
me.
whole bit was just really bad.
The rest of the action's good, and then you get that.
And then that, because she's
At the
like,
end.
let go of me. And you're like, you're literally like, you're doing that. You are softly touching her. Like, oh my gosh. And then they had to wait for each person to talk, and then they would make their move so they could easily have gotten out of it at any time. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, no, actually, C-Dub, I'm completely with you. C-Dub says 4.8 total, and last night he was at a 5.4, but he watched it again, which we just did right before the stream as well, and the lightsaber battle is the only good stuff. It really is.
Facts.
There's I think Soul has a couple lines of dialogue where I'm like, hey, all right, and then old Darth Tooth has, I think, one good line of dialogue. He still has his mask on and his it's just a menacing line. It's one quick menacing line, and then all of his other lines pretty much suck, and it screwed it up. Who else? David, I think, yeah. Hasn't the actor who plays Osha been dropped from all future Star Wars projects?
I don't think so. I don't think they've announced that. But, I mean, if they do this show the way that I think, yeah, because she's going to be dead.
After that rap, she dropped that she should be banned from all media. Oh. Okay. I'm not following, I guess, but I don't know. As an actress, she's pretty cool. She was in Bodies, and was a good part of that. The Pete Davidson aspect did not make me like that movie all that much, but the rest of the movie was good. She was a great actress in it, and she's Rue from the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
She was the little girl there, so she's a decent actress. But yeah, the press, once again, Disney doesn't vet their actors before going on press tours all that well sometimes.
Yeah,
That's something they
Yeah.
really need to work on.
they do. It is very surprising that they wouldn't have those. Them doing more press training and stuff like that.
With how PR heavy Lucasfilm's problem is.
Yeah.
We've talked about that in debates before. We've talked about that just on live streams in the past. I'm sure y'all remember all these, but Lucasfilm's biggest problem is PR. Just making more problems for yourself if you don't train the people that you're sitting out there to promote your company. Anyway, let's jump into the Stanleys right here. Vanestra using her light whip in the trailer looks like it's on the forest world, so she's probably going to turn up and kill Chimera and cover up the whole thing.
I don't remember that.
Well, she's totally in the forest.
Oh yeah, I mean
with the light whip.
She did a rap song claiming victimhood was cringe.
Oh wow, interesting.
I don't know that.
Did it have a catchy beat at least? No, I had no idea. No way. KK will find a way to make a Revo Shimei spinoff. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Characters that could have been done so much better and are written just like shite because somebody doesn't take the time to flesh something out. Oh, is that how it goes? I forget.
Sounds about right. I said it before. I'll say it again. I wish that they just made this. I wish they waited a year to flush this out, had a few more eyeballs on the script, and put this as a movie instead of a TV show. It would have been so much better because, like, it's just a Star Wars story. Like, let it be its movie. Then the pacing for like the first couple episodes would make more sense and be a little bit more understandable because you're not having a week at a time in between things. And then you get your full resolution, and everybody's going to end up probably dying or something like that in this anyways. So it's like, wrap it up with a little bow. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wish that they did that. And then we didn't have to wait a week to see the worst freaking person to be that mask.
And even if you don't like it that much at the end, as a film, if it were to come out as a film, at that point, sure, it might be in theaters for a month, 2 months, 2.5 months, whatever it might be. But you're really only going to see it once. Maybe 2 or 3 times if you do like it. Maybe twice if you kind of just want to like double back and then double check it, you know? But that's so much less time that someone is sitting with it. You know, they're going to sit with it after that 2.5 hour movie or whatever, and they're going to really ponder it and think about it, especially some Star Wars. Maybe make a video out of it if you're on YouTube, stuff like that. There's a lot of things to do at that point, but it doesn't sit with the audience and linger the way it does. It's already lingered for a month in bad taste in people's mouths, and I think that just does irreparable damage, or it continuously does irreparable damage to Star Wars in doing these drawn out shows that aren't. That should be films, I guess. It's not that they aren't thought out because they're generally well thought out to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
To some degree, they typically need a little bit more thinking out. But
this one needed a lot more thinking out. God, it's just like so bad sometimes, and like they just keep like what whose motivation is what? Because May has switched 5 times. Osha is, I think, about to switch. I think that's what's about to happen. Is Osha's about to go with Smilo, that dude,
Tooth Chimera,
whatever, loser, that guy, the worst person who could have been behind that mask. She's gonna go off with him, find out that the Jedi killed her family, and she's gonna get upset, and she's gonna hate Soul, and then she's gonna like become his acolyte or whatever. And on the flip side, May is going with Soul to kill Soul, but then it's going to realize the Jedi aren't bad. And then
I still like my theory from yesterday that they're going to do that, but they're going to prolong it a little bit more just because there is 3 episodes, right? 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Episodes left,
so I think they're going to prolong it just a little bit more. I think they're going to get re-switched back and be like, okay, May's going to be back and she's going to be like reinvigorated. Like, okay, now I really am bad. I left the Jedi, did some bad stuff to the Jedi and got out of there. and Osha's gonna like do something to screw Chimera over, and she's gonna go back to the Jedi and say, "Oh, I want to be an actual Jedi again." And then they're gonna get back in those retrospective spots for maybe an episode, maybe a part of an episode, something like that. And then they're gonna do, actually,
They take each other out, maybe?
maybe not that. I think May at that point is going to say, I thought I needed to come back and reinvigorate myself with the dark side and all this, but really being with the Jedi for just the minimal amount of time I should go back with them. And Osha's going to do the exact opposite and say, oh, after I learned that the Jedi weren't exactly what I thought they were, now I have this more realistic worldview just after a couple weeks of not spending time on a either Jedi ran or Jedi utilized world per se. And then they're going to justify that final switch with that. Because I don't know if there's enough justification to do that yet. But then again, the writing's not great. So we don't know if they actually are going to have true justification for any of their actions. And speaking of the terrible writing, the writing in this show is terrible, as Griff says, especially after most of us have been treated to the experience of X-Men 97. I've yet to watch that, and I need to. Nick, every time he's over here, he's like, have you watched X-Men 97 yet? I'm like, nope. I will, I promise. Because everyone says great things. It just, I was in Africa when it came out. Or not really, I guess. I was in Africa when it ended. I don't remember what I was doing when it came out. Something like that. But it's just, the Bo DeMayo getting fired prior to the show airing, after they already said season 2 has already been scripted, and I think they said at least performed vocally. I don't know if they've animated anything or not. I don't know. I want to watch it still. I've only heard amazing things all over the interwebs, of course, in person as well. Nobody has anything bad to say about it. It's just, I don't know. The Bo DeMayo firing after that, I don't know what the guy did either. I don't know if anything's come out about that, so who the hell knows? But it was a weird taste. I was like, do I watch it? Do I not watch it? Is it going to be worth it? Is it not? Seemingly worth it. But anyway, back to Acolyte, which we are still deciphering if it's worth it or not. The first few episodes would tell you otherwise.
I would still say not worth it.
It's so far it's not worth it. Well, we're not hate watching it, thankfully. But I think there are plenty of people hate watching it. We're not hate watching it, but we're not enjoying it either. It's just
we're watching it simply because we're trying to see if it's worth anything.
Yeah,
and so far the most that it's worth is a couple really
action
sequences in that episode, and really that's about it. And the meme for the power of many. And knock off Wish.com fucking Ezra Miller over here being the big bad that no one cared about at all. They did that whole reveal thing, made it be like all this crazy thing, and it turns out to be that dude. And you're like, really? Like the goofy, the quote unquote goofy guy that she was walking around with for one scene.
Dude from The Good Place.
Yeah, like that's gonna be it. Okay. You made it seem like it was gonna be somebody cool, like anybody else.
Which the only good hiding that they've done in this series so far, I think it was Jeremy Johns make the point in his video earlier, which cracked me up, was he said, earlier this dude looked like he was 85 pounds soaking wet. And then he came in this episode, and the one thing they've hidden well is this dude does not skip arm day. He's freaking huge. But beforehand, he looked like he was about 85 pounds soaking wet. That was just a funny little thing. Jeremy Johns was hilarious, but making a good point. They haven't hidden anything very well, hence the awful writing that everyone keeps talking about. So hopefully these last couple episodes will put them in the right direction, or continue to put them in the right direction. The last 2, 4 and 5, they're in the good direction. But I expect it to be right. I think if I had to try to predict if we were going to get a decent, good, or a bad episode for these next 3, I'm going to say 2 decent, 2 good ones, kind of like where 4 and 5 are at, mostly 5. And then maybe 1 that really pisses it off and it's like, okay, should have just cut this into those 2 episodes and made it like the beginning and the end of those episodes. Just a guess. I'm just guessing. What would you say, Chaz?
About what? Which thing?
Like, if these next 3 episodes, do you think one's going to be good, one's going to be bad, one's going to be awful? 2 are going to be good, one's going to be bad.
I feel like the ending's going to be stupid. I feel like they're gonna potentially get it back some faith with maybe next episode, maybe a little bit, and then they're gonna throw it all away in the last 2. I feel like they came off a little bit of a good momentum on 5, and I feel like 6 might be good depending on what happens, because there's potentiality for a lot of shit to go down right there.
Well, who was talking about Vernestra earlier? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. That was Stanley's, right? Yeah, the Stanley's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like, that would be nice, but yeah, I'm pretty sure though that they're gonna drop the ball on the ending.
Well, they have to.
They haven't thought anything else out as far as like connecting dots or anything like that. Like, so I don't trust that there's a good ending story, which I hate. But
like Sarah was saying earlier, they're gonna have to like cover it up politically or something, and that is going to take up just so much time at the end of the last episode, where I think the last episode might be the bad episode that should just be cut up, because then you can make it an outro of something for 8-12 minutes instead of 25-30, and then maybe 2 episodes that should have just been one part of a film,
or just a film, just a film would have been great. I think this would have been so much better, because then like the problem is like it was just so categorically bad in the beginning, and it's not that much better now. But in a movie, what does that translate to? The first half was slow, but the second half really picked up.
Yeah,
that's how that translates in a movie. But because we're watching it as a TV show, we've had weeks to sit and think about how bad this is,
and it just digests.
That's how everybody is with it.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Where like I really think they're kicking themselves in the foot by releasing these series that just don't stand alone as a series.
They can't do it.
Well, I mean, even if it was not a great film, what your worst Star Wars film ever was monetarily was Solo, and it still made $500-600 million. Okay, sure, it didn't make $1 billion.
Shit.
Whoa, no. It still made money. Not a whole bunch, but it still made money. So do that.
Even still, like, if you don't have faith in it in theaters, just do it as a movie to Disney Plus. Have it be an exclusive movie. Like, not that I don't like that option. Like, I'd much rather the movie experience, but like at the bare minimum, make your content like presentation be the best it can be, and it's just not as a TV show.
They're not trying to make money. They think they're trying to do the thing that's going to make them the most money. They're not trying to make money. The best way to make money is to satisfy your fan base and to make wonderful projects that inspire people to continue to come back and watch the next inspiring, cool project. That's where we're at. Real quick, I see a couple other things real quick about this X-Men 97 stuff before we jump forward. The Acolyte is said 100 years before Revenge of the Sith. X-Men 97 was good, but Rogue's voice didn't sound like her. She had a sexy Southern accent. And X-Men 97, her voice definitely didn't sound sexy. It's the same actress, just 25 years later, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a natural aging. That kind of stuff's going to happen. But old 90s Rogue, I mean, I'm a Texas boy. If I get to hear a good Southern accent, I'm a happy camper. So It was wonderful. But all right, David saying I rewatched Acolyte tonight, and can someone tell me where Soul was at the start when all his Jedi pals are just getting kebabbed? He only comes out when Osha's in trouble. Was he hiding behind a bush? Yep. That's the only observable option. Where else? I mean, was he knocked out somewhere?
Stanley has a comment later that's a good point to that.
The impression I got was the duel had gone on for a while as Osha got knocked out and woke up. Soul may have been taking a breather to observe or protect Osha. Observe Chimera fighting style. Yeah, because he was running and then slicing and running and hiding, finding a couple different people doing that, running around. That makes sense though, but there was a bulk of Jedi that was in a specific spot, and Soul was nowhere near them.
Can we talk about them unnamed Jedi who got shish kebabbed? Like force shish kebabbed? That was brutal. Because he stabbed and then pulled the other one into it and then proceeded to shink and go right for their heads. And I was like, oh wow.
And like we were saying, we're not looking for gore porn, but just the Clone Wars. Don't show the actual beheading, maybe,
or show
but or show it, because Lucasfilm, I mean not Lucasfilm, sorry, Disney in general is trying to go a little more adult with their stuff. But do what the Clone Wars did. Maul slice a couple clone heads off, and yes, they are helmeted, but lightsabers are going to cauterize the wound, so it's not some big bloody thing. So it's still quote unquote PG-13. But to feel the weight of that moment, have those heads hit the ground, and maybe don't show them actually rolling, but show like a ponytail flip out to the side of that tree or something. And you're like, oh, cool. Just get that. It's just an easy storytelling thing where you're like,
or something.
It's an easy device. Yeah, body both. Joe, just the body hits here, and while that body hits, you see
no head. You know what I mean?
Easy fix.
Yeah.
Not some gory something like that, of course, but just something that tells your story, adds weight to your story. Story. There you go.
Because that hand having the tree cut it off was not very great.
So he stands back, watches his mates get killed, so he can see his fighting style. That's not very Jedi of him.
No. I don't think he's proven he's very much Jedi.
And he almost Dooku'd the dude too, so.
Which was kind of cool.
Which was really cool, and I kind of wish he did, honestly, because then he would kind of end up. It would be, I don't know. It would be cool. Ooh. Let me rewrite the story real quick, and if they do go this way, I'll be very proud of them. What if Osha and May are both the Acolytes, but the Acolyte, or maybe they're both Acolytes to some degree. They both kind of served under these people at certain points, but really they're just pawns in the overall game. What if Soul's the Acolyte? What if he realizes he has this internal just terribleness in him that people keep telling him, oh yeah, accept that stuff. Why are you just letting it do? What if all this antagonization, all this loss around him brings something out of him that he can't come back from?
He just goes full Anakin.
Yeah, and then if he would have Dooku'd Chimere at that point, he would have been like, oh, all my problems are solved. And then realize pretty quickly, oh wait, no, they're not. And then maybe Chimere wasn't truly the Sith, and you can still go find the Master, and Soul kind of becomes the Acolyte. And that way, it's not necessarily a Sith that did all this bad stuff for the future. This Jedi left the Order and killed a bunch of people on the way out, betrayed it. They didn't necessarily become a Sith. He just totally left. So, I don't know. That's my mental rewrite from 20 seconds ago to now. Is it better than you think what we're going to get? Do you think we're going to get that? Do you think they're going to take that? I wouldn't mind that approach. I would actually think that would be decent storytelling. I wouldn't like the way the first half of the season went in that cadence per se to tell that story, but the second half might be a good place to tell it now that all these other Jedi are dead, and it's really going to have to focus on Soul and Osha and May. I don't know. Jango Fett I can't even speak. Got decapitated on screen by a lightsaber. Beautiful point. Beautiful point.
It's like,
God.
They can do it. They don't need to have that cop out.
Disney won't make a Star Wars movie for streaming. The movies are for big cinema events. Streaming won't recreate Endgame's 1 billion. Exactly, but that's kind of the point too.
Is they're trying to hit 1 billion every time.
They don't need to.
1 billion is like, it's literally the Endgame things. They set that up with how many movies beforehand, The Acolyte is, or if you want to use that as an example, is a standalone in the Star Wars universe. That's essentially when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out. No one knew what the hell it was, but you still do it like a movie and allow it to breathe properly.
Well,
because it just doesn't breathe right the way that it's edited. I can't wait for the movie cut. I can't wait.
Kai Patterson's gonna have a great.
It's gonna be so much better, and I guarantee you, people are gonna watch that and be like, okay, this is actually pretty good, and because it's gonna have none of this unnecessary bullshit. Granted, I wish that they could also rewrite the script a little bit while we're at re-editing, but a few things, let's maybe fix those witches a little bit, fix a couple plot holes,
like you said earlier, if it is cut into a film, even if that first half is a little slow and needs some time to kind of like set some I can't even speak again. Set some things up that are going on in this time period of Star Wars and the Coruscant, wherever we are. The second half would be fast-paced, would be action-based, and would really push things forward. And that would excite people to jump into a new era. And instead, it's been a prolonged 3, 4, now 5-week thing to kind of be somewhere where we're like, well, it's getting there, kind of. Maybe. Yeah, interesting. But with the power of one, we grow. Two.
It's time we leave that line, man. I feel like they're getting more publicity because of how bad that shit was. But what's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Hey.
What's happening, man?
Not much, man. Not much.
I've got. We didn't do our Jedi Sith Gray thing yet, but let's jump into that in a second. Before that, best episode yet, and then rate the episode.
By far the best episode yet. I'd give it. What's the number scale we going on?
Just 1 out of 5.
I'd probably give it like a 3, maybe a 2.5.
Okay.
It was a lot better. It was a lot better than anything else they've done as far as the show. So it's not a very high bar, but yeah, I'd give it like a 2.5.
Yeah, we're both at 3.5 on it. Just kind of like.
Really, only because of the lightsaber fights.
The action
exactly
helped.
The deaths,
exactly.
Like, I will give it that they win it for the deaths because they kebabbed 2 Jedi that stabbed her and then snapped Yor's neck. Like, I was like, I knew they were all gonna die, but at least those were like relatively good deaths. That's what we were talking about before you got in. We were talking about the decapitation not being on camera at all. But that was
I'm not
such a
gonna
lazy
lie.
fan.
That was a good ass death for X-23, you know.
That was a great death. Mark saying going Florentine is hilarious, but
that was great.
She was badass too.
She was great too.
She was doing
like
great. We saw Kelnaka's saber being used by more people than him.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to mention that too.
Exactly.
Kelnaka finally something happened, and it wasn't him. It wasn't even that bastard. He's just X-23 over here, who did great. Daphne Keane, when she comes to anything, does a damn good job, and thankful for it. But they just had to kill her off immediately.
She did really damn good. I mean, let's be real. We all knew she had to die. Like, she had to die. But at least she went down probably with the coolest Disney death, period.
Ever.
Yeah. Like those 3, what do you see?
Like,
I was really, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty pleased with how she died. But I ain't gonna lie. I felt bad for Yord, which
dude, his was so quick. His was so fast. Like when we did the watch party, you could visibly see me go, "Oh shit!" Because we were in the middle of talking about something else in that moment, and we just happened to look at the screen right as it, and you're like, "Oh!"
Well, no, we got excited because we're like, "Oh, Yord, he's actually doing something," and then he does something.
He did something for a second.
Homie was trying to follow orders and let dumbass OSHA talk his ass to go back and gets killed for it. Nah.
Literally, well, it goes from I'm going to restrain you to get back to this vehicle to, oh, they're going to die? Guess we're not going to follow orders anymore. Let's go right back on that. Character motivations make no sense. They make no sense.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, because that is my biggest pet peeve of this show and this episode, and that's why it's not at least a 3. Oh man, like, okay, but anyways, we'll get to it. Oh man, but yeah, it was a lot better of an episode than any of the other ones. I gotta give credit where credit is due. These lightsaber fights were very good compared to anything we've gotten, especially I would say besides Hayden and Rosario Dawson's. A lot of the stuff in Ahsoka actually was pretty damn good. But other than that, like, this has been by far the best one.
That middle of the season and the Balin stuff just in Ahsoka was great. But besides that, it's the best choreography we've gotten in a long time. Mm-hmm. Better than sequels, better than Kenobi. Like, literally, I the little bits of Kenobi that deserve praise are the cool, like, Force stuff with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader and stuff. But that lightsaber fight gets way more love than it deserves. It's not good choreography, and this Force stuff is amazing. It's awesome.
Wait, which one? Which one?
The last fight in Kenobi.
Oh,
the actual choreography fight aspect of it is it's just not there.
It's wonky. It's I mean, it's very like they somehow over stylized it.
Oh yeah.
It's not terrible, but it is off. It's off. So yeah, I feel you on that one. But I still like that fight. I will go watch that fight again, especially because Hayden puts on a fucking performance there.
Yeah. It's good for different reasons. The fight itself in general is great. It's just what like that the specific choreography on some of those moments where you're like, okay, but on here they fucking killed it, literally.
Yeah.
For once, thankfully.
Yeah, that was one thing they did right, at least, but kind of right. And then, but the thing that killed me is like they did all those really great lightsaber fights, and then May fighting Osha at the very end of the episode. Oh my god, that was just so bad.
Oh Lord.
That was she was like, let go. And it's like you were barely doing anything, and you guys can all get out of this at any point. But you're sitting there like, oh, she's pinned me. Never mind. Now I have something to say, and I'm gonna easily get myself unpinned. It's like, okay.
So it's really annoying too, because it's like it's obvious Disney. Well, yeah, actually Disney as a whole, they use probably around the same stunt choreographers or fight choreographers or whatever, because you always see them do signature shitty moves. It worked with Hayden because Hayden's Hayden, and he makes it he makes it look menacing and like it should. But the way she did it looked so lame.
It looks so lame.
It came out of nowhere, and it's just like that's what got you knocked out. So I don't know.
Just the shooting of the little just grabbing the I guess pistol just to tase frickin' Soul. That just starting it off was screwy just to begin. Like the logistics of that made no sense.
Like, why does Osha not have it on her? I don't know.
Well, then just from the way they're standing, it looks like they almost had to shoot the pistol was flung through somebody's body because they're literally standing on top of one another. Like she's not at an angle to get that, I don't know. It's just funky. Oh, Aaron,
it's wild.
Howdy. Come on.
Yeah.
It was okay. Real quick, I saw this before we go any further. I laughed at this name too hard not to respond to this real quick. Picard, Rebel Moon, or Acolyte? What's the most? Asked by Grand Admiral Haktua.
I'd probably say, dude, Rebel Moon. I would never watch anything in Rebel Moon. I will watch at least this last episode over and over again before I watch Rebel Moon.
Yeah. I haven't even seen Picard, but anything with Patrick Stewart, I will watch before I watch Rebel Moon.
Honestly, Rebel Moon is the one the one solid decision that Lucasfilm has made.
Yeah, no, that is Disney Lucasfilm's best decision so far. Was like, Zach
passing on that. Yep.
Sorry, buddy. No. Good God. David saying it was only on for about 34 minutes, less talk and more action. That's why it's the best episode. Damn right. It was more doing and less exposition.
To a degree.
To a degree.
That again, that walk up, that stupid walk up that she did when she came to. It's like, I don't want to watch it from your POV. Like, dude, I want to see the fight. I don't want to see it through the trees and shit. Like, come on.
It's funny because when they open up their mouths on this show is when they get into trouble.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I will give the only other smart decision Disney has had was to greenlight Rebels, and then the other one would have been to finish Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That's it. I'll give them those three.
Chat. This means y'all heard it first. Y'all heard it first. Harris thinks Andor shouldn't have been a good move for them. He said it.
Ooh.
Not me.
I am just saying that
I agree, Harris.
To encourage more of the fan base. I'm not saying it's not an excellent show.
It's not, but I agree.
I'll meet you in the middle there. I'll meet you in the middle on that one. Schmook! If you have time, come say howdy, man. Hey, boys, just stop in and say hi. Just finished the episode. Definitely the best episode. It's good, but they have to figure out how to deal with the Sith being active this close to the Phantom Menace. We were talking about this in the beginning of the stream. Okay, Ki-Adi-Mundi being alive for some reason right now aside. That aside, Yoda's alive. We've seen Plo Koon in here. Tera Sanube's alive. Yaddle's alive. Kin Ha, a Kaminoan Jedi's alive. I mean, there's just a slew of the Grand Inquisitor's technically alive right now as well. I mean, there's a slew of freaking Jedi that are totally squarely alive during the Phantom Menace that would have an active memory of this. They would not
alive.
be.
They're in their prime. Like, this would be prime Yoda. So.
You mean tell me he ain't have no idea none of this is happening?
And that's what we just watched the last 3 episodes of the Clone Wars yesterday before we watched the new Acolyte, and it's just, it reminds you of what some good Star Wars can be like real quick. And Yoda's even in there, when Ahsoka's all the Siege of Mandalore's going on and stuff like that.
That's funny.
What was I saying? I lost
something about the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. Yoda. They're talking. Ahsoka's talking to Kenobi and Yoda and everybody. She's kind of like saying yada yada. That's when Mace is an asshole and is like, "Citizen, we can't tell you about these
exactly."
Things. And what was my point? I got myself so thrown off with that.
I think you're saying how it makes the Jedi look or something like that. I think. I don't know. Something like that. It was. I guess we started with them saying like they're all old enough where they would remember these things. If they're going to at that point of time, just during the Clone Wars, during Revenge of the Sith, that part of the Clone Wars, very, 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 very tail end. If they're even thinking, oh yeah, we know that there is somebody. We suspect that it's Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. We don't know for sure, but we suspect it's this guy. But we know for sure that somebody has orchestrated the Clone Wars and has been playing both sides the entire time. We know Maul's out here. We've seen Grievous. We know Sith are going on. There's got to be somebody else out there. And to not even think about that to the final moment of the war, when this would have happened 100 years prior to everything, it has in no way makes sense. The only way I did a little fan fiction for the Acolyte while we were on here. I just thought about it in real time. I was like, I'm coming up with it. The only way it makes sense to me is, I guess Vernestra is the only main council member that is knowing of really what's going on. She's the one that's kind of like, all right, Soul, you take this group of people, you do this. I'm kind of in charge and yada yada.
next, I think Stanley's pointed out in the chat that they said Vernestra's next episode is going to be the light whip one because she's in the forest and she's using that light whip in the forest. So it would make sense for her to go looking for Soul and Osha and May, so on and so forth.
Also,
they're there.
Way to fucking waste using the purple lightsaber again for the first time since Mace Windu. But I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So like the thought is, if she's there, that's your group of people that know what's actually going on. And maybe she dies, maybe she doesn't. I'm adding this part of the theory into it as in real time as well. But the thought process was that Soul is going to end up he's the Acolyte. There's so much darkness in Soul that he's done, and he keeps getting everybody telling him like, "Oh, you just keep burying in that darkness, so on and so forth." Mm-hmm. He's going to let it out. Osha and May might be his disciples later on, or something like that. I think it would have been better served if he would have killed Kymir and Count Dooku right there, and would have felt like, oh, now I got all my problems done, and then maybe the actual Sith comes from there because there's somebody that trained Kymir. He's a young dude, Yeah. So I'm thinking he's got to go as well. Soul's the true Acolyte and gets recruited after he realizes, oh, I'm not good. I have all this evil in me. I've been doing all these bad things, hiding these bad things, covering them up. He's going to get blamed for killing all the other Jedi. So that way, the politicalization of it is no one knows that there's an actual Sith out there. It was all Soul's fault. And that way it looked like some rogue Jedi went off and went crazy. That's the only way that they can justify it in my mind right now without doing some oh, the Jedi were bad and we're going to politically hide this and Yoda's washing this one under the rug. If it's decent writing, they'll go Soul. If not, which we don't expect per se, it's going to be just politics.
Look, if they do that, then I was wrong. The show is decent. I still don't like you talking with Anakin and having Kiadi Mundi or whatever, however the hell you say his name. I don't like it. But if that happens, I'm gonna be willing to say the show was not terrible because it's still bad, but it's not terrible. That being said, you did say this. I believe that's probably not going to happen now. If you never said it, there might be a little smidge chance that they did this. But since you said it, and us fans have lately come up with way better things than this freaking whole regime, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So right now they have even there's no way they can really recover from the Sith line. If he never says Sith, which you're also still asking me to do mind bending on how they're reporting and everything like that at the council, because bro, you're telling we watched Obi-Wan Kenobi go on a solo mission and do nothing but report back to the Jedi Council. So you're telling me no one reported this back, that there is some Sith level person or something like a Sith walking around killing everybody, or when you just lost a whole shit ton of Jedi, that no one said Soul going back, if he is not apparently the original Acolyte or whatever, that he is not that no one reported that there's a Sith running around. He called himself a Sith. Bro, no, they're asking me to do too much mind bending, and I'm not going to do that because they wanted us to mind bend just to have Kiadi Mundi make sense. Nah, I'm good. Nah.
I mean, all that aside, real quick, I think the Kiadi Mundi, I think that's going to totally end up just being his dad and a future thing. There's no way it's not. They're just going to be Kiadi Mundi Sr. That's all. But no, everything you just said, 1,000% no, come on.
Would I like them to do what you said? Yes, I would.
But like you just said, we've been fans come up with it on the spot way better in real time, just thinking about the context of the things they've given us than what they utilize and justify with their own context that they came up with. Exactly. Your brains are doing this. do it well. Like, look at it again.
Exactly.
Sit back for a couple weeks, then look at it again, and then
But they're too busy trying to make this Ocean May conversation work, and it's like, no, dude, that is the worst part of this episode.
Yeah, really. And Amanda, since I can't even say her name right now, Amanda Stenberg is a good actress. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
But man, it wasn't good role, or it wasn't good writing for her this episode, but at the very freaking least, man. Ooh, come share, good sir. Come.
Which I will share at this. So are you getting on the call or what? What does that mean?
Did I send a link? Did I not send a link? I'm pretty sure I sent a link. Hold up, let me check Twitter. Oh no shit! I didn't send a link. That is my bad. I totally thought I sent a link. My bad.
I need to start working on Discord, by the way, guys. Twitter is dying.
He's got it. Oh, the Discord. Yeah, we're about to start doing like streams from Discord as well. In the next week or so, we're gonna try to do
We're gonna try to shift it from StreamYards to OBS with Discord. Well, we're not. We might not use Discord for that, but because I have that.
I'm just saying, communication-wise, I hate Twitter. That's a personal thing.
Oh yeah.
I fucking hate Twitter.
Yes. That's definitely the way to do that. I didn't even realize that's how y'all were communicating until just now when Harris pulled that up. Yeah, y'all want to. Yeah, don't use Twitter.
Because I have to email it to myself, and then because I don't put my Twitter on my gaming PC, so it's like.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll make that easier. I always just send it on Facebook Messenger or Twitter typically. So I said Parent Trap a few episodes. Now it's happening. Yeah.
Which again, that part is stupid too, because May has a glaring tattoo on her.
Freaking Harry Potter right here, like.
Yeah, so like Soul, they make these Jedi look so stupid. I'm sorry.
So stupid. Like, I was watching a thing. The what was his name? Charlie Barnett, the guy that played Yord, the old neck snapper. He was saying like, oh, it was really nice to play a character that, a lot of times you're an actor and you'll get a role and you want to keep playing that role, and if you just get killed off and you're like, well, damn, now I don't have a job. He was like, this was a good one because I knew I was going to die from the get-go, so I could kind of like wrap my head around how I would do it. And I was like, so you didn't want to make him competent in anything you did, or is that like a direction thing or what?
Yeah.
Because the only thing that could help that was the power of one, the power of two, and
God,
the power of many.
What's up, brother?
Howdy.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
I got you. What's happening?
What's up, man?
Acolyting.
Yeah, I hear. All right, so let me get caught up just a little bit real quick. Action, I give it an 8. Story is like a 2, so I give the episode overall a 6. Because it was like you guys were saying a little bit ago, it was great until people started opening their fucking mouths.
Nope.
So, yeah. But yeah, Justin, I don't even think you can say the action was lame in this episode, Bray.
Oh, I didn't say the action was lame.
I know.
This is the first time I really am giving them props besides Ahsoka. So
well, yeah, right on. Okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, the fighting was dope. Some of the kills were fucking sick. Like some of the kills were fucking sick.
Shish
kebab, snapping, and a Florentine. All of the trifecta.
Yep, it was pretty sweet. Oh yeah, the snapping, fucking Yord.
Yeah.
That's the sound his neck made.
Yep.
Osha has to live with that. She got him killed, by the way. But
yeah, crap ton to say about this episode. I mean, one more thing. They used the S word, so they done. Remember how I was saying they've been dancing in a minefield? Well, they just fucking stepped on one. And so the question now is do they have the skills to disarm it, or is that shit just gonna blow the fuck up?
Did you like my little theory?
Which was I probably missed it. I've been doing like 3 things at
the
once.
soul is actually the acolyte.
Oh,
they aren't.
I find that interesting. I'm trying to work around how that would work in my brains, given that
like
Kyrum doesn't look that old.
I appreciate the comment.
Like Kyrum looks like he'd have been like 15, 16 years prior to that. So
he's got to have somebody, yeah.
If Soul is an acolyte, he ain't Kyrum's acolyte. He's Kyrum's boss's acolyte. Because there's no way Kyrum doesn't have a master. There's just
I'm thinking
there's just no fucking way.
Chimer's master is going to end up taking Soul on as his acolyte.
Okay.
Because Soul keeps saying, like everybody keeps saying, you've got this darkness inside you. You just keep burying it down. You've got this darkness. You keep burying it, so on and so forth. And eventually it's going to just break in him. And he's going to allow it to flourish, maybe.
I mean, that's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
But if they want to do that, they better do it before he reports. Which, again, that should have happened before he even gets on the ship. So, either way.
Right. But my theory,
which
probably you guys aren't going to like. As it stands, a lot of people are saying, well, like I just said, now they're standing on the mine. They have 3 episodes left to disarm that bitch. But do they?
No, they don't.
They've already greenlit season 2 of The Acolyte.
Have they?
Yeah, they greenlit season 2 of The Acolyte a minute ago.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't remember?
Are they going to have enough characters for season 2?
Well, see, here's the thing. I think that they're not even. I think they're still going to be standing on that mine when this season ends. Because they've already greenlit season 2, and they probably had to because of how they were going to end season 1. And I think they're going to end season 1 still standing on that mine. And then we're going to have to wait for season 2 to see how the fuck they handle that shit.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but knowing Lucasfilm, it would not surprise me in the fucking slightest.
If season 2's been greenlit and they're going ahead with it, it would make sense. As much, well, I wouldn't necessarily say it makes sense, but it would make sense.
It would make sense for Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Let me make sure, but I am 95% sure that someone put that out there.
So I got it pulled up right here. It says that it's it hasn't been confirmed for season 2, but apparently they have said that they want it to be a multi-season affair.
Who's that from?
THR, Variety. Deadline.
I'm trying to see who said
well, that's the thing, Stanley's. Plagueis is like a couple 100 years old right now. He's nowhere near like a young Plagueis. Tenebrous is old as hell, and Plagueis is already a few hundred years old. Like,
them mutants live for fucking ever.
Yeah. Moon. Yeah, they're old. Moons. I've never know how to say it.
I say Mune.
Mune. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Munes.
Isn't the planet pronounced Munilist?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
One moment.
Which did y'all realize? I think it was Stanley's that helped me out earlier. I was trying to say Christophsis earlier, but that's the first planet from the Clone Wars movie and stuff. It was a Cartosis or something like that. Is the metal that Cortosis is the metal that helmet was made out of, which. That was silly in the moment, and it's easy to be trigger happy as a fan base that's not liking what's going on that one. But there is frickin' precedence for that, so yada, yada, yada.
Well, here, so far as the Stanley's chat goes, I think the best we're going to get is one of Tenebrous' side pieces that we know he had from the Plagueis novel. I think that's as far up the chain as we'll ever get. And if we even, and the best we'll get is maybe hearing Tenebrous' name. But I just don't see Lucasfilm being cool enough to actually give us a Sith fucking
but
Biff.
even the only thing that I'm thinking about that is even just from the Plagueis novel, none of Tenebrous's, I guess, acolytes, if that's what we want to call them, or semi-apprentices, side apprentices, whatever, they didn't have lightsabers. They weren't even given those yet. They were given special, like, other weapons or told to utilize what they had.
No. Well, okay, but I'm just in terms of the fact that they all pretty much had a side piece or two.
Yeah, it's the only thing that logically
That's
makes
the only thing that's what I think the highest level that Kyrim's master would be one of the big motherfuckers side pieces.
Did we get a confirmation on who said that?
Oh, that article.
I'm not gonna lie, I got completely distracted. Sorry.
I'm trying to temper what I say before I hear who said it, because.
But even if they have the expectations of getting more seasons immediately, like that makes me just hesitant in what Aaron was saying. Just like shit, like they're gonna try to dangle a carrot between seasons. I mean, if they're willing to break off that episode 4 into episode 5 the way they did, they're totally willing to just stop on a dime at the end of the season and say, "Oh, you want to see more? Well, you got to get us renewed for another one." Like, I mean.
Well, Lucasfilm would be that stupid. That's the thing.
It was Leslie Headland who said that.
It was just Leslie Headland.
Oh, it's just in an interview? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. She was one who was saying that it wanted to be a multi-season affair.
So what are the odds she gets cleared for a season 2?
75, 80% probably. In my mind.
So,
because remember, Lucasfilm doesn't care about backlash.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
This show has literally, like, it's proven. It may not have proven, but it's almost. God damn it! I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It's almost a testament that Lucasfilm wanted this type of talk, this type of discussion, this type of chat, this type of toxicity around this show. They've kind of doubled down on all of it. They've doubled down on knowing that things are probably going to trigger, people that have grown up with Star Wars, with bringing in Ki-Adi-Mundi and playing around with the Anakin's backstory. If they want to do this, man, they really don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm over it. Like they got me for 1 season. They're not getting me for 2.
Well,
I'm not doing 2.
Disney hasn't like officially done it, but if the precedent has been set with Zaslav and Warner Brothers over there that the axe works well, and it does work. Like, sorry, but literally Zaslav's point has been proven a dozen times over that hey, sometimes you take the tax write-off. If the movie's not going to be successful, if you're not confident in it, you don't continue spending tens of millions of dollars on things that are not going to make it back. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I will say Zaslav ain't perfect by any sense. Dude shouldn't be cutting up a company a whole bunch and increasing his own freaking pocketbook right now. Give yourself a couple years for a big debt restructure on your company, then boost your pocketbook. But anyway, Lucasfilm should take something out of that and say, you know what, maybe if we know, because the only way they're going to release this is they know the publicity they're going to get. Their PR team knows what's going to happen, and they've kind of set themselves up for, I guess, not success, but failure in that aspect of things. They could have just thrown it away. Who knows if they're going to actually ever release Snow White? That might be the only time. That might be the only time they actually do the Zaslav thing, and it's going to once again prove the point of don't release everything. Some things are better off in an archive,
Yeah.
But
David,
I keep saying this. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say David B and Icarus both have key comments.
This was hilarious. I hear Acolyte season 2 they're replacing the actors with Muppets because their performances would be more believable and less wooden.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, Muppets are nice and squishy.
Look, it's more of a Lucasfilm problem, though. I'm tired of saying it's a Disney problem because you go look at Marvel, they're figuring it out somehow. Lucasfilm is just focused on making this franchise a problem. They're hyper fixated on making this fucking whole company in the news for the wrong reasons instead of having a good show or a good movie?
I've only got one teeny little counter to that.
What?
Iger is allowing it. He's not stepping in.
But what is he gonna do? Because I mean, shit.
He's gonna Zaslav.
He has to fire her, and he's probably gonna have to sit through 1,000 meetings to have Kathleen Kennedy bitch him out about something.
Actually, all he has to do is not renew her contract in 2 months.
Oh, as you said, that's probably what they're trying to do.
God,
she's over here just approving shit to approve shit, so she can say, "Oh my God, I brought back the heart of Star Wars in Rey."
It's not even that. She's approving shit to get the EP credit, so she keeps getting paid after she gone. That's why she.
Yeah. So why are we even blaming Iger? Even though Iger's not a fucking good dude, he's not over here just laying down shit work over. I mean, the thing would be the same thing consistently over all of their studios. It's not. It's fucking Lucasfilm over there bitching around doing stupid shit.
Well, it's crazy. All their studios. Lucasfilm is just the epitome of it all. They're the needle, the head of
They're
it.
the only ones not trying to make a change, is what I probably should say.
Okay.
Because you've tried it. Look, you tried it. It didn't work. It didn't work universally, like Marvel, Star Wars, I think even Pixar. It didn't work. So Marvel's switching gears. I don't follow Pixar that much, but I heard people are saying Pixar's switching gears too. Star Wars is the only one that's not trying to switch gears at all.
Doubling down.
They are doubling down. And then look, I'm not a Gina Carano fan, however the hell you say her name. But you are giving those stupid idiots that are just trying to literally tote her name to hope that she sees them on Twitter credence by letting y'all fired her for whatever she did, which she's turned into a weirdo afterwards. Then you just let Amandla do pretty much the same thing, but almost to a higher and worse scale, and don't say shit. And so I don't get it. I don't get it. It's obvious now that it's a Lucasfilm thing.
What was this? I haven't seen this or anything. What is this?
Dude,
she put out a rap video about how she feels in herself inside the fandom. And I don't know. I personally haven't listened to it, so I don't know how cringe.
I haven't listened to it either.
I don't know how cringe. I haven't listened to it either. It would be, but I mean, all I got to say about that video is one, she's welcome to her own perspective, and two, for anyone who's like, why the fuck did they allow her to put this out? Because here's the headline: if they stopped her, Disney silences young black female lead of their new show, or tries to silence.
Yeah, but you do that behind closed doors.
I don't care.
That would get out.
You don't even have to
out there.
I get what you're saying, but there's an HR and PR way to do this. And for Lucasfilm, they obviously have not figured it out. But if you're gonna go to her, you go to her correct. You go to her correct and appropriately and go, hey, Amandla, look, we stand by you. But don't be doing that, please. We're trying to make sure you don't get any more toxic hate that is unwarranted, but you're literally bringing it. Bro, you called the nerds gay. Look, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but when you put everyone and just say nerds are across the board gay, you think all of them are just going to love you? I don't understand her thought process. Yes, yes, she said that.
With Leslie Headland
on stage
next to her.
I have the soul of a queer woman.
I love you, Jillian. I do, but I just don't understand.
Sorry to interrupt your rant, but I had a couple things come up that I got to take care of before 9, so I'm going to dip out. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me on for a few minutes, and we'll check you later.
Yeah, thank you for gracing us with your genius.
Later, brother.
Haters.
So yeah.
But yeah, am I off base?
No. Literally what you were saying is they're in the HR and PR is allowing her to double down instead of just saying, hey, let's just think about it just for a second.
Yes, there's an appropriate way to go about that, but they have not done any of that. I just this whole entire like launching of this show has been a PR issue. So,
which okay, start to finish. We started the stream talking about this for a lot because we keep saying like it should have been a movie, should have been a movie, should have been a movie. Mm-hmm. If it was a film, even if that first half was rocky and the second half picks up, and maybe it wasn't like everybody's boat, maybe it made solo money because they don't need to think about films making $1 billion all the time. It's okay if a film makes solo money. They made $200 million off of Solo, not what they're used to making, but they still made money off of Solo. That's okay. Maybe don't make such a freaking huge budget and you're going to make some more money back. But in that same sense, if you have a film out, it might be in theaters for a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, but somebody's going to go see it. They sit with that for a day, maybe a couple days, maybe a week. They might go back and see it twice if they really want to digest it, They're not going to have the time to hate on or shit on or anything like that, any of the bad aspects of the movie in that case, because they're going to immediately think about the good stuff. And that's what they're going to have to talk about. They're like, okay, well, yeah, this part wasn't great, but then you saw them snapping necks in the middle of the movie, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And at this point, we've had 4 weeks of nothing burgers until we finally get to a little something. And it's taken a full month of this is where we're at. And they've let that good PR just fall apart. And it's
if this was a movie, because I remember when Leslie Heslin came out saying about like this show, even I don't know if it's the same thing, but she came up on stage and this is like the best amount of PR she's done, in my opinion, is when she's like, this show might not be for you, but I want to at least give y'all an open chance to try to like this, or like she was very good in that statement. Now, we've gone straight up downhill, and if it's a movie, you don't get this downhill. If it's a movie, also like the whole thing would be better because half the shit that's bad would have been cut out.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand. Like, Amanda, I'm sorry. Like, because she's a beautiful woman. She has decent acting in other projects, but dude, she has literally done nothing but try to rile people up. And the thing is, like, the one I really, really feel bad for is Moses Ingram. Again, I say this all the time because, bro, she did nothing. She just played her part. And she got the dummies that are racist, the dummies that are homophobes, and all the shitlords that are possible going through her DMs, giving her nasty messages because she played the part. And that was a Disney issue. Well, Lucasfilm issue of how they wrote her in. This one is completely on Amandla.
Well, I mean, it's a wholehearted Lucasfilm issue because Warren Beatty wrote a good script where Reva's character makes so much more sense and was a pivotal thing that actually brought not just Obi-Wan's story but her story further. There was a completion to it there, and then we got what we got with the rewrite and oh my God, what's his name that was so awful on there? Well, yeah. Do you remember the writer that was awful?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember the writer.
I've thrown it out of my brain. I'm usually an encyclopedia for that, but not today.
Yeah, I don't remember the writer, but it's just I don't know, man. It's just I don't know how Lucasfilm doesn't get the PR game, and especially in this day and age, like I don't understand. Because then you talk about apparently they made another cringe video with like content creators, and it's like, guys, what? Like, especially if y'all paid for that, what are y'all doing? Yeah. So I don't know.
UCG content.
Yeah.
What?
That UCG content.
Bro. Yeah. It's kind of weird because I don't live in Hollywood, right? So I'm fine living over here in Texas. But like,
hey man, that's where I live too. I'm just here for the moment.
Hey,
I'll be back there in a few weeks.
I go back as often as possible, and I will be living there again. My ID will never change, but I will be living there again by 2030. If I can make it out here, I can make it anywhere. So
but I don't live out there, but like we have like where I live, we have major gaming orgs, right? Complexities out here and Optic Gaming's over here as well. And I watched a Optic. His name's Hector. He's the owner of Optic. Dude, his YouTube edits are just even better than what Disney produces. It's just like, come on, like content wise, we should be way above, and we're just stagnant at that level, and it's weird. I don't get it. So
it's because there's a lot of money involved, and the people making that money don't want to move, and they're not necessarily the right people for certain spots.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, it's from every level. I mean, especially talking about like lightsaber combat. There's so many freaking fan edits that are better than what's actually being put on screen a lot of time. I don't remember if it was a Jeremy Johns video or what, or somebody was talking about where this last episode particularly was the entire battle was nighttime. You can't see half the things that are going on. And sure, I do like that sometimes whenever like you make it a dramatic emphasis with the light of the lightsabers, but there was still like, it was just dark enough and not dark enough. It was weird lighting where if it happens during a daytime where it's visible and then it's still scary.
Yeah.
You can get so much more out of that. And the lightsabers are still visible. I just...
Yeah, and what did you think about? Because, dude, I like the Sith dude or whatever his name is, but Smilo Ren or whatever. But, dude, he did a lot of running. He ran away a lot of times. So it's like, go get the kills, bro. You would have been killed Soul if you didn't keep running away.
And even Daphne Keen's character before that part, like he wouldn't have ran away from her that first time. He would have killed her and kept going. Especially if his little tactic is to run, slice, run, slice, run, slice. Like
exactly, dude. It's so weird. I don't know, man.
He was good though. I did like him overall. It was, I mean, the laziest bait and switch ever, and not well written or anything like that at all. But once he was in action, it was pretty cool. But yeah, man. Oh well, Stanley's for damn sure. They hire yes men rather than talented people. They have people with the potential for talent. Like Leslie Headland's written some good stuff, and obviously, if she was involved with some of these things, there's inklings of goodness in there. But that's when you have a talented writing team to help bolster those good ideas and maybe push her in the right direction. And then maybe she can push back with some good ideas and they work off of that with one another. Instead of hiring yes people that would much rather just be like, oh, yeah, great. Let's put Ki-Adi-Mundi in here. Like, you know?
Like, I'm sorry. Whoever let that get slided through needs to get fired.
The simplest of things. Maybe during the one day on set that you have the dude in the makeup chair, just be like, maybe we should just do a different anything.
That's the thing, though. That's why I don't want to get back on this topic, but that's why I'm like, dude, it's deliberate because you chose the guy that said this word, like said the one thing in canon that this would really mess with. Y'all chose him. So, dude, oh man.
Like I know last week particularly I was really going hard on Dave Filoni, and I think a little bit of it is maybe some of these writers are throwing him under the bus and trying to use him as a scapegoat. Like, hey, this is y'all's big guy, and he did approve everything. So I don't know if he's really the Ki-Adi-Mundi Plo Koon guy. It would make sense for him to be, but like, hell, I just get a good writing team again. That's all we're asking for. Like,
I'm begging. Like, it doesn't. But even to that, it doesn't even feel like a Dave Filoni change.
Sorry, Chaz was walking this way with the water, and I was like, "You mind grabbing me a water while you're up?"
It doesn't feel like a Dave Filoni change. He's consistently changed. Only really things that he's touched, like his character stuff. And so for him to make a huge change that kind of really conflicts with George's stuff, it doesn't feel like a his change. And that's where I'm just like, they just slapped his name on that for real.
Yeah.
So
Stanley's making a good point. There is, to be frank, I did hear that Leslie asked for Yoda, but was told no idea why. that could just be people trying to protect George Lucas's favorite character's identity or something like that in a lot of ways. Not necessarily his favorite character, but the character that he's like kept mysterious for all these years, remaining more mysterious. That would be the only thing I could think of. But at the same time, give us freaking Yoda. Thank you.
And at the same time, it also doesn't help the case. Like the way they've taken the story, it doesn't help. So
no. And it's a good thing they don't have Yoda right now, honestly, because if they would have had Yoda knowing about any of this.
Yeah. Yeah. He's too major of a character for them to have this type of thing going down. Yeah. So I'm glad they didn't throw him in there, because that would have been like Keanu Mundy's one thing, which never mind. I'm not going to get back into it. Nope. I get triggered funny, thinking about it.
Icarus. I'm thinking Icarus is finding some good Twitter stuff. Twitter is weird, but it's wonderful. There's a Jackie fan account which writes 1 hour till Jackie. 2 hours later, someone responds, now it's 1 hour after Jackie.
That's so wild.
That fan account did not last. They were like, this is gonna be that one character. I'm gonna like be able to get so many like followers off this thing. We're gonna be great. My entire account can be based off this. It's
Why would you want that? Like what? You're better off just doing a Daphne Keene freaking
Twitter,
which is even more weird. But hey, y'all did one for a dead character. We all knew she was gonna die. Come on now.
There's no way. There's no way not. Which the season 2 stuff, if that's even plausible, I don't know how it could be plausible.
I hope not.
They just drag out the story, but everybody still dies in the end.
Yeah. What do you have? 2 people left and whatever? Chillin had some stuff come up that he had to do just around the house or something like that. I don't know. But he had to go. He's a busy man. But he came in, dropped some genius, and we're still pondering these things. David, though, I did see this. Should they have released the whole season in one go? No.
It would still have the same problem. It would be a little bit better, but people would still stop watching by it before episode 4.
That's the thing. It would not even that. People might finish it all in one go and hate binge it or something like that. But then the only good, I mean, they do have the right thought process in, if we have the series already filmed, we might as well drop it weekly. And even though there's a lot of hate per week, it's still generating more and more clicks each week. Where if you drop it at once, people forget about it in 2 weeks, if it lasts 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's really the only difference of them, releasing it all in one or releasing it one by one like they have, because the money revenues of the hate watching and all that stuff has been probably tremendous for them. So
yeah. And
it's probably only the way they're making their money back, actually, at this point. So
realistically, and I wouldn't even say all of us are like hate watching it, because we're trying to actually have like some kind of a nuanced discussion about it. We don't love it by any freaking means, but we're literally actively like, we hope it gets better. Like we're rooting for it to some. It's Star Wars. We want it to be good, but it's just.
I wouldn't say I'm rooting for it at this point.
Maybe not at this point, but you still want it to be good. Like
I'll leave it at this.
Star Wars to be good. I want
that
Star
part.
Wars to be good.
Yeah.
I'll leave you at this, and I'm gonna get up on out of here, boys. But I want this show. Going into the show, I was very hyped about this show. It's probably right under Ahsoka for me on hype level before both of them came out. It's quickly gone down, but I wanted this show to be really good. It has all the aspects that I should love: Jedi, Force using, all that stuff. It's just not good. It's not hate watch. It's not me over here trying to act like, something that I'm not, like some of these YouTubers are. It's just not good. It's not good. It's more controversial than probably any product they've done. And it's not even on everyone else's fault. It's on Lucasfilm. So I want this to be good, but bro, we're not getting any type of good positive change for Star Wars until they freaking fire everybody in that thing. So
So,
it's weird.
You made me think of a question real quick right there.
Yeah.
Did you see Tales of the Empire?
Yes.
Okay, I still haven't watched it yet. So like I the question's just out there generally because I don't have my own basis just yet. But obviously Tales of the Empire is not getting the love that Tales of the Jedi got.
Yeah, because it's terrible.
So because the Acolyte conceptually, like you just said, we've all been pumped for it for years. It's like we get some cool dark side stuff. Like this is what we want more of, like, maybe not everything needs to be dark side, but we need to see that aspect of things. And we want to kind of like delve into that part of this world that people have been looking at for 5 decades now. The two things that we have that delve the most into the dark side aspect of things have not been very well managed or reviewed or loved or anything like that. Do you think they ought to keep it like Jaws and kind of keep that Darth Vader in a hallway coming at the end of a show or a movie or doing something evil, badass, and proving that, oh yeah, these things are still here. These giant evil Sith kind of things will be a menacing force every now and then. Is that better than trying to focus so much time on this? And instead you get something that could be menacing, like a twisted evil metal mask with a smile on it that turns into Smilo Ren because you get 15 minutes of staring at it, so it's like not scary anymore. You're like, oh, here comes Mary Poppins again. You're like,
the problem is it's not that it's not the Sith content as a whole that's a problem. It's the fact that they're trying to add in a whole bunch of random dumb shit. Like we get 2 episodes in the Tales of the Empire show of Morgan Elsbeth. I'm sorry, she's boring. Like she's boring. We get a half-ass Inquisitor episode with Barriss. They did Barriss wrong. They throw Vader in just to have Vader in so they could throw it into a clip for a trailer. That's not like that wasn't really Sith like at all. Then you have this show. It's focusing on 2 twins that they're trying to compare to Anakin. You have a random Sith Lord that's not like, I mean, he's cool, but there's no mystery around him at all. There's no substance. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's no substance around any of the Sith type of things they've done as far as the show and then Empire. They've done it wrong, pretty much.
Quick follow-up question, just as like a 1B for that question. Would be out of the stuff they have done, what would be the best Sith stuff you think that we've gotten for Star Wars? Like, maybe not like, I'm not just talking like a quick appearance or something, and maybe like a specific storyline or arc of a storyline or something like that. I would say it's probably Maul and Ezra almost going to the dark side with Maul throughout Rebels. Like, that entire process was dope to watch.
Everything they've had with Maul has been really good. Because the Clone Wars Maul stuff is Disney as well. Right?
It's a little bit of it, yeah.
So that stuff was awesome. The stuff he goes in with his brother, and then for it to end that whole saga, you have Palpatine come through and 1v2 them and just put them in a box. Like,
and then the Ahsoka fight.
And then the Ahsoka fight. And then the fact that he knew he was the one person besides Count Dooku that was able to figure out what the plan was. Well, Count Dooku was told, but anyways. Then you also have the things they've done with Vader. I will right now they've let me stand on this hill. They besides what is that? What's that game? The second game. Fallen
Jedi
Order,
Survivor?
Jedi Survivor. Besides Jedi Survivor, they've treated Vader how he's supposed to be treated. Vader snapping a dude's neck and dragging him through a freaking town was insane. Very Vader. The way he freaking bodied Reva and was toying with her at the same time, besides him stabbing her back in the stomach where she lived the first time, because let's be real, Anakin would have cut her freaking head off, for real. But that was gangster as hell.
Yeah.
Then you have that awesome scene with him and Obi-Wan. Amazing. The only thing they've done bad is have him as a freaking idiotic cameo for 2 seconds to hear him breathe in the Empire, the Tales of the Empire.
Okay.
But other than that, they've treated Vader perfectly. So I will give them that. But everything else other than those two have been not good. Not good at all.
The only other like great Sith thing I can think of besides just the Vader stuff and like Maul stuff is really, I mean, the Dooku things we get are all great as well. I love me some
Dooku was great too. Yeah.
Dooku might be my favorite Star Wars character in general, just for like everything that he was a part of. I just love the concept and how everything had happened. But besides probably those three, honestly, Visions and Ronin was the best Sith thing that we've gotten in maybe ever.
Oh, Ronin, yeah.
Like, and that was
Visions is different too. I like Visions, but I wasn't in love with it. But the Sith things that they've done in that were pretty good.
The book was great too.
Yeah.
The Ronin one was so cool.
So
it was a very cool one.
But yeah, they've had some positives.
It's just I just wish they would give us a positive actual, a positive evil show. Is that what we're wanting? We want a good evil show.
I would love that, but I don't know if we're gonna get it, dude. Until they fire some people. But other than that, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think
some restructuring that needs to happen to make that happen.
Yeah. Speaking of chilling, Aaron was saying that 2 months, which he just had to step out. It's something going on. He just had to step out for a minute.
What up, Kendall?
Howdy, Kendall. But Aaron said, what, 2 months until Kathleen Kennedy's contract is up, something like that?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we'll frickin' see. We'll frickin' see.
We'll see.
I would love for them not to renew it. But
yeah,
they probably will.
I hate being like the demise of somebody's great, but she's got to go. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I don't care about that. Let her go. She has probably at this point hundreds of mil in the bank. She's fine. She will be fine.
She's been producing for Steven Spielberg and Jerry Bruckheimer.
Exactly.
She got a few hundred mil in the bank.
Exactly. She's fine. Let her sell off into the sunset. She's fine. So, well, all right, guys. I will catch y'all later, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
thank you for popping in.
Always a good time talking to y'all.
Yes, sir. Thankfully, there's positive things to say this week. Hopefully, there's more freaking next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, man.
I'll take it one by one. I will watch the next one. So
somehow, some way, I thought we were gonna lose you after the third one.
Dude, I thought I was done. I ain't gonna lie, but all right, boys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, man. Be safe. Enjoy Texas for me.
Hey, man, it's 115 degrees out here, so
I'll enjoy cold weather for you.
It feels great. All right, well, see ya.
See ya, man. What are we thinking? We got a couple other things. We can jump into some bullet points over here. We talked about some character motivations. Do you want to just jump into the stupidity of some of them?
We kind of over
everything. Yeah, yours character motivations and the aspect of do you follow orders or you don't? Dumb. May going back and forth 4 to 5 times? Dumb. Chimere, just his motivations in general don't make sense. Why would you be? Anyway, that's just dumb. That doesn't make any sense. Osha, her stuff makes sense. She didn't really switch up that much. She's still kind of just Osha, but that's just very generic, and she'll probably start switching up here soon. Jackie, she made sense. Everything Jackie did made sense. She's the only one that actually, like, I feel like is 100% justified in the way that she's being utilized, I guess. I would still have liked her to have more action than just being a talking point, early on. But she was all right. Soul, though, everything was making sense to a degree, but I still really like my theory. I hope they do that. I doubt they will, like we keep saying.
Like I said, that's too good of writing for the show.
Yeah. Dog. Oh yeah. Y'all should meet Zora. Did she just run out of here?
Oh yes.
No. Well, she comes back. It's his Pomsky. Gorgeous little dog.
Zora.
I'm just watching to find out what the Jedi did to Osha and May. At this point, the basis of the show has intrigued me enough to just get the answer to the question. That's it. And if they don't answer it with this season, I'm not gonna feel goodwill enough to give them a second season. Maybe Lucasfilm will, but I don't know.
Dog.
But dog, Zora.
You can't really see her very well.
Yeah, she
So if
said,
you notice, she's got one blue eye.
and then one dark eye. Brooke, howdy again.
Got one. No.
No, yeah, gorgeous pup though. Gorgeous pup.
She just turned a year old.
Oh yeah.
It's just her birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños, pero. Howdy. Yeah. So yeah, motivations. Okay. I should have asked this to everybody else. I missed my bullet point. We started getting into other conversations, but one of my bullet points that I was going to ask is, who did you want to be Darth Tooth? Who did you want to be Smilo Ren?
Literally anyone else. Literally anybody but that person. Oh, would have been a better anything, a better twist, a better storyline, any of that. Not the random being person that she was walking through the woods with in one scene, and then they made such a big damn deal about her or him hiding his identity and stuff like that.
Literally been in 3 scenes, and he's the only reason they utilized him in this aspect was because he's the only character that hasn't done something else yet.
Yeah.
You can introduce somebody else and have him like
very lazy.
But-
It's very obvious.
I'm with you, Sarah. After I didn't really think about Indara Trinity being Darth Tooth, whatever we're calling him, until the beginning of last episode, and that idea itself actually got me excited. I was like, okay, we're gonna see something cool. It would have been sick.
Yeah.
Been like, okay, because and it would have proven the point of whenever he kills Daphne Keene, Jackie, with the 3 prongs. It's totally that's a total like fan thing. Is like, oh yeah, you get stabbed once, you can come back, and they're like, all right, well, let's stab her 3 times real quick. She's dead. Okay, we figured that out. She's dead. Then that would have been cool. That Trinity only got hit the once. We never saw a body after. Of course, we saw her dead body hit the ground, I guess, but that might have been something that they could have written off in that sense, and you would have been like, the one, but I would have much preferred Trinity. And if not, like you were saying, Kirill would have been cool.
Yeah. Because that, like, my thing that I don't understand is how does he know the backstory of what happened with the witches? Because he was like basically insinuating that Soul had something to do with it to Osha, and he's sitting there like but it didn't make sense because how do you know that? Because May doesn't know the whole story. Because when you actually watch that 3rd episode, it's told from Osha's perspective, so it's like there's details missing, and it's very apparent that the Jedi did something else, and like that little fire that she created is not the fire that killed everybody. Like that didn't cause that chain reaction. The Jedi did something.
Also, it didn't look like the fire killed everybody because they were all just
dead laying
bodies.
there. They were just down. They were just laying there. So it's like,
one of the witches is Tooth's boss. I think Mother Anastasia or Kirill has to be.
It would make sense.
It has to be Chimere's master.
That would, because she was the one she would be upset. She would know the details of what happened, and we didn't see her body.
Maybe he was there. Chimere's a warlock. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what they're gonna have to justify something here. It's pretty soon.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah, they're all women. Like,
yeah, Smilo Ren, old Darth Tooth.
It is Make-A-Wish.com Ezra Miller. It's literally how he looks, and it's frustrating because it's so apparent.
Somehow, Palpatine returned.
Yeah, for real. That's definitely gonna be how it. We're just.
Frickin'. He goes into the world between worlds and pops into this timeline and is like, hey guys.
Just gonna go to the MCU.
Yeah, let me send Ian McDermott over to the MCU real quick. Ooh, who would be a good MCU character for? Wait, what?
They technically, with the Marvel
Multiverse.
The What If series, because in one of the What If,
they showed a little thing.
They showed. I don't remember what planet it was, but I'm pretty sure it was like Tatooine or some shit. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that they showed a Star Wars world. Star Wars world. Wow, say that 5 times.
Star Wars world. 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 It wasn't that bad.
Good for you, buddy.
I wanted to try it. I was like, let me real quick.
You did better than me. But
I thought it would move up.
But if they, so technically speaking, Palpatine in the MCU.
Iron Palp
there.
Iron Palps. That's how we'll do it.
I like that theory or not theory, but that idea that we had like a couple streams ago where we were talking about the witches, and we were like, if they were from Earth, that would be cool. That because Earth is canonically in Star Wars,
yeah.
So like that's not impossible, and that would be a cool little connect. But I'm glad they didn't, because like as these witches are written, it's not good. But like the bare concept, maybe.
Hello there, Pod Racing Palpatine. Perfect timing. Perfect timing on your part. That was hilarious. Oh, and also right after Icarus's comment makes that much better too. Hello there. What were we just saying?
About which thing?
We
kind of finished the point.
Oh, okay. Well, the only other things that I was really thinking about this episode were, the witches find Stargate. Go to Earth.
Yes. I'm here for that.
Well, okay. So this was the witch idea. We'll just bring back the witch idea. Is Earth is canonical for Star Wars because of E.T. E.T. happens on Earth, and in the Phantom Menace, not the Phantom Menace, it's either, I think it's Attack of the Clones, in one of the Senates. No, it's in Revenge of the Sith. I think it's in Revenge of the Sith whenever Palpatine is being crowned Supreme Chancellor. A Disney Amazon production. Oh God. But anyway, the witches would be from Earth because E.T. came to Earth. Earth is part of Star Wars because E.T. is in, his species at least is in Revenge of the Sith in the Senate. So they are part of the galaxy of Star Wars. So they were a long way away. Far, far away. God, a long time ago, galaxy far, far away. That was ADD right there. And that was my immediate karma for saying Star Wars world 5 times. That was my immediate karma there. Yeah, so I like the idea of the witches being from Earth a hell of a lot. I don't know if they're gonna go that far. It would be cool.
Definitely, they won't go that far. Again, that's too good of writing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy's like sitting there being like, no, that's too good.
Earth? No.
No.
One sun?
We don't like that planet.
That planet? Or you'd have to pull an Invincible and say Alan, and I was looking for Urath or whatever.
Urath?
Yeah. Okay, so the bugs in this episode. One of the things that I liked, but I didn't love was the horror elements of this one, like the bugs taking away the Sith dude, Chimere.
D-rate horror.
Yeah, the D-rate horror. It had the potential to be. Is that? I thought it was a spider dangling down. No. I was like, that's terrifying.
Getting distracted by flies.
Yeah. Yeah, so the horror stuff, the bugs. Speaking of the bugs, they're everywhere. We literally just Beetlejuiced one. A Gua'uld possesses a Jedi. Oh boy! Ooh.
Oh, that's horrifying. You know, that would be a funny video, like a what if, what if Gua'uld gets possessed or possesses a Jedi, or bring that into other universes too.
Stargate's got multiverse stuff, which means if it's open the multiverse,
it does.
Yeah, you've already seen. Yeah,
I'm watching it now.
Stargate's got multiverse stuff. Star Wars, literally world between worlds. MCU has multiverse and microverse stuff. And the difference between the multiverse and the microverse. Multiverse is your 6th dimension, and microverse is your 7th dimension. Obviously, first dimension is a point. Second dimension is, a line, essentially your vertical line, your x-axis. The third dimension, including your y. Fourth dimension, space-time. Fifth dimension is essentially a doppelganger planet. These are all within the laws of physics. Sixth dimension is multiverse, so that's where that multiverse theory, where the Marvel stuff's going off of right now. Everything, everywhere, all at once, so on and so forth. Seventh dimension is the microverse, and the difference between those two things are the multiverse is any kind of eventuality that can happen. Any kind of possibility that can happen will happen after the beginning of our known world and universe starting, aka the Big Bang Theory. So the multiverse theory is everything after the Big Bang. Microverse theory is any possible beginning and every possible end. So where multiverse is literally an infinite multitude of things, the microverse is infinitesimally a multitude of that. If that makes sense. I know it's a lot of concepts and theories, but if all these different things have the multiverse in there, long story short, they have the microverse theory attached to their product, and they could, in theory, have a little crossover. We could do DC, Warner Brothers, MCU, Disney, Star Wars, Stargate with Amazon, a little bit of everybody if we really wanted to. You'd have the hardest part about all that would not be justifying it within their own retrospective universes. The hardest part would be justifying it to the studios to work together and to share the profits.
Yeah, that one.
I really don't think multiverse stuff jumped the shark. Everything Everywhere All at Once was one of the biggest Oscar winners in the past ever. I really don't think it's jumped the shark at all. I think bad multiverse stuff has not helped the ideas of it, but I mean, good multiverse stuff's been going on for a long time. I mean, Stargate did multiverse in the early 2000s. People have been doing it for a long time, so it's not like it's bad by any means. Not everyone, but a vast majority of people that watched Everything Everywhere All at Once really enjoyed it. So good, like for everything. Acolyte is not very great storytelling a lot of the time, which is our biggest frustration. But whenever it is done right, it is phenomenal. And good storytelling, no matter the story trope being utilized, is going to be good. The Spider-Man animated was great. Into and Across the Spider-Verse, along with Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think kind of proves that multiverse hasn't jumped the shark. I don't think Multiverse of Madness, I really liked it when I first saw it, and the more I think about it, the more I watch it, the less I tend to enjoy it. But there's still some good Sam Raimi-isms in there, which are great. It just doesn't stand up to the same pedigree that either Into or Across the Spider-Verse, and hopefully Beyond the Spider-Verse will reach. And it definitely doesn't stand up to Everything Everywhere All at Once. And the thing that was worse than that was The Flash. The Flash didn't help that by any freaking means. By any freaking means. The what?
I said actual Ezra Miller.
Yeah, actual Ezra Miller. And that didn't help either. What else was? Oh, the other Flash, the TV show, the Infinite Worlds. They were. I watched parts of it, and I never watched those full seasons of television, so I don't really 100% have an opinion on that one. But I don't think necessarily that helped bolster the pedigree per se of multiverse types of movies or ideas or anything like that. Loki, the second season, I think, of the series helps. The first season kind of just convolutes things. I don't like the first season of Loki as much as everybody else does. I like certain episodes in that series a whole lot. Second season of Loki, I really thoroughly enjoyed. So that one does help a little bit, but it's really hit or miss, and it is a hard thing to do right because there's so many things that you can do that are just fun with multiverse stuff that as a writer, think about it. Well, if I have access to this, and this, I'm going to just use it all. No, you got to use it when it makes sense. And if you're going to try to really push something and pull something out of somewhere to use it, you have to find a way to justify it. And a lot of the times, the justifications are not as seamless as we would like them to be. But I don't think it's jumped the shark just yet. I don't think it's jumped the shark just yet. Maybe if Beyond the Spider-Verse doesn't really seal that trilogy well, and we get some more multiverse stuff from Secret Wars in the next couple of years with the MCU, and all of that doesn't go well, that shark has been succinctly jumped at that point. But I think there's a little bit of leeway. Laura, you're the best. Oh, hi guys, love you. Just saying hello, and I love you, but don't have much to contribute at this second. No worries at all. We just love that you're here. We love that everybody's here. Y'all are the best. I like the Arrowverse. It was fun. Just don't take the shows too serious. The first few series of it, or seasons of it, were fantastic. And the first few seasons of the first few series.
Crisis. Well, like they went downhill before Crisis.
Way before.
But like especially after Crisis, because I liked Crisis because it brought like everything together, like even like the old shows, like just on the basic level, like it's fun. It's a nod to fans and stuff, but like they somehow got even lazier with a lot of things after that, which was really sad to see, considering they should have done the opposite because people thoroughly enjoyed that for the most part.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even in Crisis, it's like if you're gonna do all these different characters, yes, it's awesome to have them. Yes, we want to all see them on screen together, and we want to see them doing cool things on screen together. But you've got to give proper justification. You can't just have them pop up, and at a certain point, they just turn into cameos instead of an actual character. And if it's a cameo, not a character, and the cameo is not, it's supposed to be a cool moment, and it's not like just a fun little like the best type of cameo is one that is still a character, even if it's not an elongated one. Think Gene Hackman in Bride of Frankenstein. Not Bride of Frankenstein. Is it just Frankenstein? Am I crazy? Y'all help me out there. But Gene Hackman playing the blind guy in Frankenstein, and Frankenstein coming in there and blind guy spilling stuff all over Frankenstein, and he's like, "Ah!" and doesn't really want to offend the guy, so he kind of leaves, and it's just great. Why am I blanking? What movie am I thinking of? Classic, freaking classic. Is it Bride of Frankenstein? Pretty sure it's Bride of Frankenstein. It might just be a different Frankenstein movie, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If a cameo is going to be utilized, it needs to be justified through a character like either that character has to come in for a reason, or the character that is going to go witness this cameo needs to be witnessing the cameo for a reason. That cameo needs to have pertinence to either the character that we've been watching or have its own pertinence that the character can kind of draw back to later. Storytelling devices, I guess. We don't get many of those.
Or they just have a cameo for the general storytelling aspect, not necessarily interacting with another character.
Yeah, if there's some IP or something like that, and there's something familiar that you can kind of just, yeah. But it needs to pertain to story, and characters should pertain to story as well.
Did they really do that, though, in Crisis a lot? Because they had a lot of cameos, but that was all relevant to the story.
I've never seen Crisis all the way through. I've seen parts of it. I'm thinking for that mostly The Flash is where my brain went there, because that turned into in The Flash. Where
when you're talking about cameos, so I don't know.
Well,
I thought you were talking about Crisis, but now I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a little bit of all of it. I haven't seen Crisis all the way. Young Frankenstein, thank you. That's why it wasn't Bride of Frankenstein. I knew it. It was Young Frankenstein. Thank you. Excellent film. Excellent classic. But I see. So I haven't seen Crisis all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it. So I don't know if everybody's justified or not there. I'm really thinking the Flash particularly there, where at the end you just get George Reeves popping up, literally standing in a super suit, and Christopher Reeves and Supergirl popping up and just standing in their super suits, and then you get animated Nick Cage flying around shooting spiders, and you're like, this doesn't. You're literally just peeking into a world. You're letting Ezra Miller look. Oh yeah, I see this guy when I'm running around here. Ooh, look, I see this world. Ooh, ooh. Instead of having maybe these worlds do come together and they do have to help fight with one another to get themselves out of a situation for a moment, or maybe one guy can be utilized from here. However you want to do the actual storytelling aspect of it, it's not. It's half-assed because all it is a cameo at that point instead of it's a story relevance character. Well, the story relevance technically could be there, but that's where the character relevance would need to also be imbued there, because Barry's not getting anything in the Flash whenever he's running by all these different worlds. He's not. Oh, he's literally just making a semi-funny face at each one, and he's not getting. He's like, oh, this world's falling apart because of what I'm doing right here. This world's, he kind of takes a step back after he looks in and peeks in all these worlds. He's like, oh, all those worlds I just looked in, they're falling apart because I'm letting them fall apart. And I need to stop doing this just Speed Force, circle, circle, circle all the time kind of thing. And I need to maybe think about what I'm doing and take a second, stop, breather, all that kind of stuff. They don't let that happen. They're just cameos. And where Andy Muschietti is a better freaking filmmaker than that. That disappointed me there in the Flash a big time. And I think that goes to show, like, that's what a lot of multiverse stuff can feel like. It jumps the shark whenever it does that kind of stuff, and it doesn't justify what you're getting. It turns into how many cool things can we fit onto a page or onto a screen in one brief moment. But we just hit 2 hours, y'all.
Yeah.
What are y'all thinking? We might start skedaddling out of here. We've covered a lot. Which was nice that, sometimes an Afterthoughts can be exactly what you said yesterday in a watch party, just with a little more poise. I think we added a little extra to that today. We added some theories, added theories on top of theories. We not only said yesterday what we thought, but with more poise, we justified it, and we kind of tried to hopefully not justify the Acolyte to ourselves more, but to hopefully at least they're going to get better, and we're trying to find the ways that they could, and if they follow those ways, we're going to be happy. If they don't, hopefully they found a way to be good that we're not thinking of, but that is yet to be seen. I haven't put one of these things up, so you know what, Stargate. Y'all Zat gun all those things that Zat gun just told you to. And y'all the best. Y'all know we love you. We'll see you soon. I don't know exactly what we have coming at you next, but Sci-Fi Sunday, this Sunday for sure. I might talk a little bit about our show on Sunday, just for the sake of it. Our show that we're doing, it's our last show this Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's going to be, 10 p.m. y'all's time in the UK, I think, at that time. So maybe if y'all want to come watch a show, we have a live stream aspect of that, so it will be able to be live streamed. And we had a bunch of live streamers last night join our show yesterday, which went swimmingly, super really good. As the director producer, I'm worried about laughs per minute, and there was a lot of laughs per minute, which makes me very happy. Makes the cast happy, which boosts morale. It's a great thing. It makes me really, I love it. And hopefully, if y'all are wanting to, we'll get y'all a little discount code for Sidetrack, all kinds of stuff like that. And if you want to, after a Sci-Fi Sunday, a couple hours after, come hang out again. We got some funny jokes to tell you. But yeah, that's it for this stream. We're a little 2 hours over it. Chaz, you want to say anything before we hop out of here?
No, we'll see y'all Sunday.
But yeah, see y'all Sunday. Hopefully a little bit beforehand, but we'll let you know. We'll probably toss a video out or two for you. Just keep your eyes peeled and keep those notifications on. It was a wonderful stream. Good night, all. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. All the above. And toodles.